All right, this is our live review of Monday Night Raw for August 7th, 2023. I want to thank everybody that's joining us live, everybody that's watching the replay. Please leave a comment, let us know what you think. Hit that bell notification. That way, when we go live or release a video, you guys get notified and hit the like button. It helps with the algorithm. I'm your host, Mike.
I'm Frank. Man, let's get into this. Every time there's a pay-per-view, there's a Monday Night Raw after a pay-per-view, it's supposed to be something phenomenal, something great, something that's going to start paving the way for the next 4 weeks towards the next pay-per-view.
Not always, though.
Yeah, we didn't get that tonight. We got what we know what our main event is probably going to be for Payback, and we know where we're going from there. One quick note before we start: the women's tag team titles have been vacated due to Sonya Deville's injury from 2 weeks ago on SmackDown. She tore her ACL. Those tag titles, brother, are jinxed. And Vacate has had them more times than any other woman. They might as well just get rid of it and create a mid-card women's title. But I don't know what they're going to do. But Chelsea Green and Sonya Deville are no longer the tag team champions. My guess is some type of tournament or whatever the case is. I don't know. I don't care. It's just getting ridiculous now. Just create a women's U.S. title, Intercontinental, whatever you want to do. Just create an undercard women's title and be done with it. But these tag titles are they did not hit the ground running with these.
It's like snake bit.
Seriously, and they got rid of the ones in NXT. So what does that tell you? So I mean,
well, they didn't officially vacate them yet. Let's see what happens. All right,
not yet, but it's going to happen because
I would imagine. Unless she
no
just picks a new partner.
return.
Unless she just picks a new partner and they just let her slide like that. Okay,
if they allow her,
you never know.
I do. I'm curious also to see what's going to happen with the actual tag team titles because KO is legitimately hurt. Sami Zayn is still holding on to them, so I don't know if they're just going to wait for his return if his injury is minor, or if they just haven't decided. I'm also waiting on when and if Triple H is ever going to split the tag titles like they were supposed to do and have one set for Raw and one set for SmackDown. I mean, it's been long enough. Let's just do it. But anyway, let's get into the outcomes of tonight in Minneapolis, Minnesota. Would have been nice to see if Brock Lesnar show up there. But unfortunately, he wasn't there. Another side note: what he did at SummerSlam was not scripted. That was of his own doing.
Supposedly.
Well, this is the first time for everything, and even Cole and Wade Barrett were shocked that it happened. And fighter recognizes fighter, and Brock recognized Cody.
I don't believe a lot of the stuff when they say, "Oh, that was not scripted. That was we don't know."
Have you ever seen Brock shake anybody's hand in 20 years?
But it doesn't.
Maybe Kurt Angle's in 03. That's about it.
I'm just saying, like, I don't like the new. Remember, the news is either leaked or fed to the media, right? So for all I know, WWE wanted to feed that nugget, like, oh yeah, it wasn't scripted. I don't. Most of the stuff I hear, I don't buy.
Well, let's get Brock on the show and find out from him.
Yeah,
I'll get right on that.
That's just like, well, Brock wasn't supposed to beat Undertaker. And then we come to find out, yeah, he was. So it's just like, I don't know. But the wrestling, you don't know what to work, you don't know what to shoot.
Well, regardless, he shook his hand. So whether it was planned or not, who cares? I thought it was nice. It was a moment of respect. It was good to see.
That was Vince shaking his hand through him.
Oh God! From his mansion or his hotel room in Connecticut, while he
recovers got to see a little approval. He's arrived. Yes, Cody's arrived.
Arrived. Yeah, last I checked, he arrived last year. In any event, we start off. Speaking of Cody, we're going to start off the night with Cody Rhodes coming out, and of course now it's become the thing where as soon as he just says the word "so," and we assume we're going to hear somebody's entrance theme. So, and if nobody's entrance theme pops up, it's so. What do you want to talk about? So naturally, he's talking about the whole, thing with Brock Lesnar and the respect that was showed to him, and then naturally, here we go. Same thing that kicked off the beginning of last month.
But did you catch? But did you catch what he said about his mother? He says his mother said to him, like, "You dummy." He acknowledged you, and then I
love the fact that he said acknowledge you.
Roman Reigns.
I thought this segment was going towards that, like, oh God, please tell me a payback. He's not challenging him. Like, just please tell me we're not. Thank God it didn't happen. But unfortunately, we get the next chapter in the saga. Now Seth Rollins comes out in those Bob the Builder croc boots or whatever the.
When did he? Because I wasn't watching wrestling for like a while. I just recently started watching. When did he start dressing like a wackadoo? Like, when did that start?
Recently. Within the last year.
I don't get it. He doesn't need all of that stuff. Like, I understand some of the stuff that he wears. Like,
who the hell made those boots?
I don't know. It looked like
he actually was able to do a wrestling move.
Yeah, he kicked somebody with them, right? I don't know. Anyway, he comes out looking like a wackadoo again. I like Seth Rollins. He's one of my favorite wrestlers. But this whole
he's been doing this since he turned. This was since last year.
Yeah.
Sometimes right around, I think, WrestleMania of last year.
Sometimes it's just too much. I feel like it's almost distracting.
I think sometimes I think he's stealing out of Becky's closet.
I don't know, but he comes out.
I mean, and then the stuff she was wearing when she was a heel was something to be desired.
Becky, I don't mind so much. I don't know. Seth was a badass, and to see him,
he rated. You remember that meme I shared months back? Elton John's retiring, and Seth Rollins, shut up and take my money. He raided Elton John's closet and took it all.
By the way, he came out.
I don't like what the hell he wears, but in any event, he comes out. They start talking, and of course, here comes Judgment Day minus Finn Balor. Go to show that Balor would come out later to attack Seth from behind. Of course, Judgment Day didn't know about this. Here we go with this ongoing drama, which seriously needs to come to a head. Either kill it, or let's go already and let's have the match. But I mean, they're dragging this out long enough. And of course, here comes Sami Zayn to come save the day to even it up, which would set up later on Judgment Day versus Rollins, Rhodes, and Sami Zayn, at least as we thought of it.
Rhodes is the one that said he made the challenge. He says the three of us, and then Seth was looking at him like, how are you volunteering me like this? Especially considering he's the champion. So they already have that tension there.
Yeah, this all stems back from last year, WrestleMania, and then the other two pay-per-views come, leading up to the Hell in a Cell. Seth is 0-3 against Cody. So he's still, regardless of being a babyface, he's still bitter about it. So, I mean, this is just what's going to happen. I was really shocked, later on in the night when they finally shook each other's hand, but we'll talk about that a little bit later. So, following all that, before we even get a match, they showed earlier, Ricochet talking with Adam Pearce about the bogus way Logan Paul won the match with the brass knucks. And then, of course, all of a sudden, here comes Tommaso Ciampa, Chad Gable, Matt Riddle. Apparently, we go from Ricochet crying about Logan Paul to this a fatal four-way match for the number one contendership for the Intercontinental Championship against Gunther.
But nobody's going to win.
No, not yet. Anyway, but it's 30 more days. Right. He gets the record, and then after that, I think he's fair game.
He's not losing. I would imagine not until around the Rumble, probably, because he's going to win the Rumble. We think.
I would give it. I'm going to say 2 months.
He might even win the Rumble as the IC champion. Don't be surprised.
It's possible.
Still the IC champion.
It's possible. So, if he loses the title, I don't think it's going to be in a straight up one-on-one match. I think it's going to be in some type of triple threat fatal four-way where he's not even pinned.
Yeah.
Because technically he's still undefeated. Yeah.
They're going to keep him strong.
So, and the winner of this match obviously is no way in hell going to beat him.
No.
Which it was Chad Gable that wins it after he gives that impressive backbreaker to Tommaso Ciampa. The match itself was pretty good. A lot of high flying stuff. I get nervous every time Ciampa gets in the ring with that neck. But, the match itself was pretty decent. Chad Gable won. They're in his hometown. So, of course, he's going to win. So, Chad Gable's the number one contender for Gunther. May God have mercy on your soul. So, following that, they showed the highlights of the Cody Brock 3. Mm-hmm. Too bad they didn't put the camera on his mom again because, the memes blew up this weekend with the lady sitting behind her that just it went ridiculous. But
he won. Yeah, he was happy, and I just didn't like that smile that he gave afterward. After Brock shook his hand, he gave like this.
it
This
looked
smile.
cocky, like arrogant.
No, not even that. It just looked like no. It looked to me. It looked wimpy. It was like, oh, thank you, Brock. You gave me a seal of approval. You know,
Well, it was.
I don't know, man. I'm starting to turn on Cody, man. I'm not
I
sold
know.
on
I
this
see
guy,
that.
dude. He's just not. I don't know, man. You know what it is to me? After his entrance, it's all downhill for me. Like, I don't think he's that good of a promo. Like, I don't like the way he speaks. And then I spoke to Brock Lesnar. I don't that his cadence does it. I don't know, man. I don't know. He's a good wrestler. I don't think he's great, man. That's just me. It's just me, man. I like him, but
I mean, they brought him in. He became an instant main eventer. Who
yeah, but
knows who he would have
it's just
faced and stuff if he didn't get hurt.
it's just funny to me how he was just mid Carter, right? Leaves, then becomes a big star in AEW. Then Vince is like, oh, I got
Well,
him back.
no.
I got
He
him.
did. It wasn't AEW that did it.
Oh,
It was the fact that he was able to put out an independent show and sell out like he did. When he got to AEW, all he was a TNT
but he was an
champion.
EVP, but he was an EVP guy. You know,
Everybody there's an EVP.
Listen, either way,
Omega's a friggin' EVP.
But my point, Vince didn't go get him when he was doing the independent stuff. He didn't get him until he was in AEW. Is my point.
No, because he had signed after he was in the independents. He signed with the AEW, right. And when his contract was up and he was working technically as a free agent, that's when he made the move.
Then Vince had to fly over there to get him, and I don't know. My point is he had him. My point is he was there. He was there for how many years? And they gave him these shitty gimmicks. Handsome Cody Rhodes and was
because he had to leave to show them what he really could do. So I'm just like Drew McIntyre. He gets fired. He goes off to Impact, becomes a world champion, matures, learns the business and learns to respect it more, and then they brought him back. Sometimes you have to leave to be able to come back to be where you want to be. Because at the time that you're not, you think you're at that level and you're not.
I don't think he's any better. I don't think he's any better. I don't see it. I don't see it. I like his entrance. Like his getup is cool, but him on the mic doesn't do like LA Knight blows him out of the water as far as promos. Maybe that's a bad example, but I'm just saying
he does.
I'm just saying but Cody's the chosen one is my point. Anyway, I don't want to talk about Cody anymore.
Oh, don't call him that. Let's just... Okay, moving on. Following.
Talk to you. All right.
Yeah, we're not there yet. I wish we were, but we're not there yet. We first have to talk about Cody, Sam, and Seth arguing in the back. Sammy trying to be the mediator between the two of them to get along. Like we haven't seen this before. In any event, moving on. Of course, then they're going to show after that the tribal combat match from SummerSlam. Definitely. How everybody now is hating on Jimmy Uso for turning on his brother. Like it or don't like it. Let's see if they explain it on Friday. Let's give the storyline the benefit of the doubt and see what the tribal chief has to say.
People are saying this was the jump the shark moment for the bloodline. It might have been. I'm starting to think about that too, though. It might have been. Well, hopefully, fingers crossed. Still go strong.
I think it will. So following that now, Miz is in the back, having to wait for a possible photo shoot. And then, of course, when they turn the camera, we see why. Because Mr. L.A. Knight is getting his photo shoot on Raw.
What the hell?
I think they just wanted to do it because the two of them, Miz is so good on the microphone.
Right.
So one of the things they want to see is can you go toe to toe with somebody that's experienced on the mic, and who better than Miz on that? Yeah. So I knew once I saw LA Knight there, I'm like, oh, we're gonna see him again. So this is not gonna be the last time, thank God. So our next match on the card was Shinsuke Nakamura versus Big Bronson Reed. Yeah. This stemming from a couple of weeks ago when Nakamura fought Reed, and of course Tommaso Ciampa interfered, and Nakamura didn't like that. We saw the heel turn coming then. Mm-hmm. We got it tonight. We'll get to that later. This match was not as good as the first time they had it. Reed going for the tsunami splash, missed it. Nakamura hits not one but two Kinshasas, gets the victory. So his final victory as a babyface. Because here we go again with the heel turn.
Because that worked out so good the first time.
Well, that was Vince making him making him win the Rumble and then go, "Oh, I made a mistake."
I made a mistake. Yep. Yeah.
He's not going to win against AJ.
He's like, forget it. Sorry.
And then he doesn't do anything with him. Yep. I mean, granted, he put the IC title on him, but that wasn't saying much considering he did not defend it on a pay-per-view for a year and a half. So now, following that, they showed 3 weeks ago the fight between Raquel Rodriguez and Rhea Ripley, and how earlier in the day Rodriguez still wasn't medically cleared to wrestle. That's the angle we're going with because we couldn't put that match on SummerSlam. Well, Rodriguez would get her revenge later on in the evening. Of course, she has Indy Hartwell and what's her name, Candice LeRae standing next to her, like she needs those two Pixie, queens, as backup. She can step on either one of them. Not to mention the fact that Raquel Rodriguez at one point was feuding with the two of them in NXT. I love that. So after that, by the way, and of course the first hour was commercial free. You think you would have had a little bit of more matches during that time instead of just the two that you had.
Well, they got us back with the commercials at the end of the show.
Oh, yes, they did. At least, 2 or 3, and they were in the main event.
Back-to-back, split screen.
Oh, my God.
We got to get you on the back end.
That's going to work for him, brother. Yeah. So, here we go. Becky Lynch is coming out to the ring. We have to hear from her. They showed last Monday. Go ahead.
I actually thought she was going to fight Trish tonight. I don't know why I thought
No, it was next week in Winnipeg.
Yeah.
Because you got SmackDown's going to be in Calgary this week.
Right. And then
they're Winnipeg Monday, and then they're in Toronto the following week on SmackDown because that's when they're doing Edge's 25-year celebration. So he's not retiring. Okay, well, then what are you doing with him? We'll probably find out then. Yeah. His opponent will probably be revealed at that point. But in any event, they showed last week they had Becky versus Trish, and Zoe Stark got involved. So next week's match, Zoe Stark is barred from ringside. So, of course, Zoe comes out while Becky's talking, blah, blah, blah. And then, of course, here comes Shayna Baszler. And I'm like, you're still here?
And then the only pop that she got was when she said that she beat
Ronda, and she sent her packing.
Right. So, and people were happy about that, obviously. So, like, that was about it. That was about it. And then nobody cared after that.
Of course, Becky wants them to fight, and then she's sitting at ringside.
Hey, why don't we have a match? I'm like, when the hell did she become the GM?
Did you catch what she was doing at the announce table?
Yeah, she did the Triple H with the lemonade.
Triple H made the comment this weekend that anybody that was left off turned lemons into lemonade. She's over there drinking lemonade. I don't know if that was a slap at the face or just agreeing with him or mocking him. I don't know. But if she's mad about being left off the card, tough. I mean, we had to have what we had, although we could have did without a few of them.
We had to have 4 hours of what we had. So.
It was if you're gonna have a 4-hour thing, at least have 12 matches on the card or something.
Yeah,
come on.
Either way,
don't give me 4 hours and 8 matches. It's hard to sit. It's hard to sit through a 3-hour Raw and you only get 6 matches in that.
So we had this match that nobody cared about.
They did? I don't know. I wasn't there. No, I'm just kidding. I was there for this one. But nobody cared. I think they had to plug in the fans, the recordings, because the fans just didn't give a crap. When they went to the outside and you thought that Becky was going to get involved, and fans sort of were involved in it, but otherwise they weren't. And Shayna Baszler wins the match. Yeah, she's still a fan favorite, is shocked to me, but
it's great.
Later on, she still said that she's going to go through the women's division, and she hasn't, eventually she will get to the man. And of course, Becky's looking forward to it. This stemming back to their WrestleMania match that was a disaster a couple of years ago. When Shayna ran through the Elimination Chamber to become the number 1 contender, and Becky just beat her like she was a first-day rookie on the job. So
see you.
I'm not a fan of Shayna Baszler. I don't agree with giving her another title shot. I think just ride out her contract and then send her off into the sunset. Send an old horse to the glue factory. So it's just send it to AEW. They love having garbage talent over there. So in any event, moving on, and I'll try to be nice as possible. Byron Saxton's in the back interviewing Shinsuke Nakamura, and of course, the interview gets distracted because in the distance, JD McDonough is attacking Sami Zayn, who is trying to earn points with the Judgment Day because earlier when Finn and Priest were talking in the back, McDonough was there with Balor, who they're both good friends, and McDonough he said something smart. He goes, "Hey, that briefcase is coming between the two of you." He goes, "Cut the briefcase loose and get rid of it." And then he's like, "Who the hell is he talking to?" Rhea Ripley's like, "He's not Judgment Day. Don't pay no mind to him." So he is earning some points by knocking out Sami Zayn of the match. So now it looks like it's going to be a handicap match. Of course, Rollins gets interviewed later and says for him it's probably a 1-on-3.
I'm wondering if he's going to join the Judgment Day after Balor got kicked out.
That's the supposed. I like to use supposed rumor that he's going with he'll help Balor when he's out, or he's going in and Priest will be the leader.
Right. I wonder.
He would probably be good in there. A lot of people were saying, bring Joe Gacy up. I say no, don't bring Joe Gacy up because Joe Gacy ain't gonna be squatting that thing just because he runs this little gothic cult thing down in NXT doesn't mean it's going to work at Judgment Day. Little schism dyad, whatever the.
They need to bring that guy from ECW, that vampire, and throw him in the Judgment Day. What the hell is that guy's name?
Kevin Thorne?
Yeah, Kevin Thorne.
Gangrel's little son.
Gangrel Light.
Or his alternate ego, the first gimmick he had, Mordecai.
That was Mordecai, right?
Yes, it was. Yeah,
it was Mordecai. Yeah.
A lot of people don't remember the
I remember Mordecai,
the American Hakushi.
Yeah,
I think he had like one pay-per-view, feuded with Hardcore Holly, which ain't saying much, and then off he went, and then next thing you know, he goes from being on all white to dressing in all black.
Right.
So the next match on the card was set up mainly because Gable became the number one contender. It was Otis versus Ludwig Kaiser, who's hitting on Maxine Dupree, and that's not going to help for him. I don't know if I don't know if that's his real life girlfriend. I know he's dating somebody there. Of course, they're all dating somebody there. But Kaiser, when he walks to the ring, he's something else, boy. But the match itself was entertaining. Otis, I don't know. It's just something. He's like the overweight Scotty Too Hottie to me. Just the way he is when he does the worm and everything he does. He's over there getting beat up and he's dancing. I don't know. I get it. Something about Otis I just get a kick out of. And, this match wasn't going to go clean. Giovanni Vinci getting involved. Gunther getting involved. He booted Otis. Kaiser gets, the victory on him naturally. And then after, they both attacked him. And then here comes Chad Gable and Gunther's laughing at him. Hell, I'm laughing at him. If Gable gets that back suplex on Gunther, I'd be really impressed. I'll also be surprised. I just don't. I see this match and what's that Hulk Hogan term we use? That's just not going to work for me, brother. Not this match. No. I don't know. Other people may be excited about it. I just don't see it.
We already know where it's going.
Yeah, obviously, yeah. So following that, old Jackie Redmond's interviewing Rollins and Rhodes on Sammy's attack. Neither one of them can get along. And of course, here comes Shinsuke Nakamura, like little Sonny Ono-ish. Yeah. Oh, I'd like to offer my services. Yeah. And of course, Seth, I got a lot of respect for you. Well, that's your first mistake. Anybody that's ever seen Raw over the last 30 years knows that when something like this happens, you better grow eyes at the back of your head. Shinsuke is on the team. So now this was the best part of the night to me. The Miz comes out talking about LA Knight and who should grace us with his presence. LA Knight comes out and the place went ape shit. and they're going back and forth. And Miz is talking about how he was thrown out of the locker room. He wasn't welcome, blah, blah, blah. And, LA Knight comes along and whatever. And the banter back and forth between these two guys was great.
I actually think
he messed up a little bit on the microphone.
He flubbed the toilet line.
Yeah.
I actually thought the Miz might have gotten the better of him in this exchange, man. And I don't know if it's because LA Knight was nervous or something, just because this is his big push now. This is it.
This is finally coming. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and then he did make a funny comment though, because somebody was actually cheering the Miz, and he was like, "Oh wow, you actually got a couple."
You got a couple.
Yeah. So I thought LA Knight did good, but I thought the Miz probably he might have gotten the better of him.
Got the best of him on the mic, but in the end, forced blunt trauma got the better of Miz and LA Knight. Yeah. Kicked his ass. So is it possible that a payback these two could be fighting each other? I would bet my money on it. I would like to see it.
I'm guessing the Miz is probably going to show up on SmackDown or something like that.
Oh yeah, if he shows up this week or next week, this is definitely something they're going to be working towards.
But the whole thing is like, what's the point of the draft?
That's what I'm saying.
If LA Knight is just going to show up,
if he's going to show up on Raw, then like, why do we put these guys?
Why do we even?
Just like when it's been mentioned that Cody Rhodes is going to win the Chamber and challenge Roman for the title again. If Raw superstar wins the Royal Rumble and challenges the World Heavyweight Champion, then shouldn't the Elimination Chamber match be the SmackDown guys?
All right, but here's another thing. How the hell is Dom? He goes down to NXT, gets the title, and he defended it on SmackDown, didn't he?
That's because they announced that NXT is no longer the developmental brand; it is the third brand, and they said that they would be making periodic. It's probably for the ratings as well.
I think,
but they would be coming down periodically and working with them. They said it would also help boost the younger talent, working with them.
Yeah, I know, but I'm just saying he has they gave him the title.
A veteran. Yeah, I don't understand that.
Him to get the title and then just defend it on SmackDown. I don't know.
Maybe because Judgment Day, they all have something and Balor doesn't.
Nah, the hell with Dirty Dom. All right, let's just.
I agree with it. I don't think he should have beat Wesley.
He sucks, man. He sucks. I'm sorry.
He does. I'm 100% on board with that.
Man. I'm not.
They did this whole program with Wesley and Mustafa Ali for him to just come in and piss all over it.
That's what I'm saying. What's the point of that? Right.
Because we'll get into Dom's son.
We'll dump on Dom in the main event. We'll dump on him in the main event.
Oh, okay. So let's talk about the Viking Raiders segment they had. Let's not. Next match, the Viking Raiders come out for an open challenge. And who should it be? The New Day. They're back.
They're back after, Coffee had Kingston's that bad ankle injury. And Coffee Kingston. I call him Coffee, man. Coffee Kingston.
I swear, every time I see him, I always remember the when Triple H was on, I think it was Raw, and he's looking at him and goes, by the way, didn't you used to have an Jamaican accent?
Right, yeah, he used to be Jamaican. What happened? I don't know. What happened to his chest, man? You notice it's like, look, his chest is like completely flat, and it's completely flat now. He has no definition. I don't know. Maybe
I don't know.
I don't want to start any rumors, but
don't start any rumors. Leave that to the WWE trolls.
Either way, I don't know. I just feel like the whole New Day thing, it's
run its course.
It's run its course. Yeah.
Well, now that the Usos are gone, because that's their biggest rival, it's like unfortunately they several years ago they pitched the idea of possibly breaking them up. Instead, they let them go on individual singles runs to be WWE champion. I would break them up now for Xavier Woods for whatever time he has left. At least give him one run at it and see what he can do. But I think pretty much Kofi's just there to work with the younger talent as a veteran. I mean, because believe it or not, there's guys that are there that we haven't seen in the ring in ages, like Dolph Ziggler, who's working with the younger talent. Miz isn't wrestling as much. He's working with the younger talent. They're just, trying to get the next generation ready. I think, in my opinion, Kofi Kingston's got one foot out the door. I mean, he's been there 15 years. to me, he's got nothing left to prove unless he's trying to win a Royal Rumble, which isn't going to happen. I mean, if they do opt to give them the tag titles like they want, I mean, good luck with that. There's supposed to be 2 sets, and there's only one, and they're not even being defended because Kevin Owens is injured. So I don't know what they're going to do. But it was good to see them back. I thought this should have went their way like it did, because if they came back and lost, then the return was just going to be shot to hell. Unfortunately, they're going up against a team that desperately needs to win to keep their momentum, and they didn't get it. You know, Kofi hits the Trouble in Paradise on I guess that was Ivar. And then, you know, Woods hits the elbow drop and New Day gets the victory. And then later on, interviewed by Jackie Redmond, they're already looking to be tag team champions. Well, one tag team win in the last 5 months is not going to get you that. And it's funny that they fought these guys, because before Kofi got hurt and before the draft, New Day on SmackDown was feuding with the Viking Raiders. So it was this. And by the way, let me just say, this wasn't a bad match, and I was pretty impressed by the agility of Ivar. You know, that you know, big man has a lot of agility. So after this, for whatever reason, I don't understand why they do this. If you had an out in the ring segment, why are you being interviewed in the back? And this was Becky Lynch being interviewed by Byron Saxton, and then Shayna Basler coming up to her. Like, we need Shayna Basler freaking challenging her. Like, do us a favor, don't. Go to NXT and lose down there. For Christ's sakes. Anyway, I know, I'm rambling on. You're over here enjoying that shit. It just aggravates me. It's like, okay, you had an in-ring segment. Why do you need a backstage segment?
You don't, because the in-ring segment sucked. So we don't need another.
So what did they think? The backstage was going to be any better with Byron Saxton?
I guess.
Come on. It's Byron Saxton, for Christ's sakes. He lost his Raw announcing position to be a backstage announcer. What does that tell you?
Talk about a demotion.
See, I'm getting mad. I'm knocking my microphone around. I think.
Oh, we forgot to mention that. We forgot to mention this was Wade Barrett and. I
mentioned it on the SummerSlam one, but yeah, okay. In case anybody didn't watch that, tonight was they changed the announcers around. Wade Barrett and Michael Cole will do Monday Night Raw. Michael Cole will do SmackDown with Corey Graves and Kevin Patrick, because Kevin Patrick puts everybody to sleep. So, if God help us, if they do Kevin Patrick and Byron Saxton, nobody's going to watch the show.
But I think Cole's going to be like the kind of like the third guy on SmackDown. I don't think he's going to be like, he's going to be kind of like,
I think he's just going to be there to make sure they don't piss the bed with this. And it's not Corey Graves doing it.
Yeah.
Because they have a lot of faith in him.
Graves is all right. He's all right.
It's the other dude.
Yeah.
I wish, bring back Pat McAfee. You have no problem, because if McAfee was there tonight,
he's getting too much money from ESPN now, I think.
If when Shinsuke came out, McAfee would have been dancing on that table tonight. Of course, he wouldn't have liked what happened, what Shinsuke did, but that's irrelevant. So on to our main event, Judgment Day, Finn Balor, Damian Priest, Dirty Dom versus World Heavyweight Champion Seth Rollins, Cody Rhodes, and Shinsuke Nakamura replacing Sami Zayn. Honestly, I thought I was going to see this in the very beginning, Nakamura turning on him. Now, it was just a matter of, okay, who's he going to turn on? Then it hit me. Okay, you did the backstage segment with Seth Rollins.
Right, you could tell that.
You're going to be the number one contender for the World Heavyweight title. And I'm going to tell you, this is a Triple H move, not a Vince move, because you know Vince has no faith in Shinsuke whatsoever. So you know the only way he's getting a title match, even though he's not going to win it, is by Triple H getting him in there. And that's a shame, because Shinsuke is one of the most talented guys on the roster. So, and this match didn't disappoint. Finally, Seth put his ego aside and,
we had the whole Cody. Right, but we had the whole thing in the beginning with Rhea.
Yeah, I was trying to forget that.
Rhea comes out with the Judgment Day.
And Raquel Rodriguez comes out from nowhere, supposedly injured, but she's running awfully fine. Yeah. Then, of course, out comes from nowhere Indy Hartwell and Candice LeRae again, and Rhea finally beating them down. And then I don't know if they're trying to get involved to be relevant in a storyline, or I don't know what it is. I would have rather have seen Johnny Gargano tonight, but he's not in the picture. I don't understand why. He came back from his injury. Vince put him in a house show match against Omos. I don't know what's going on there. But instead, we get Candice LeRae involved in the fight.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully, at Payback, we'll see Rhea Ripley versus Raquel Rodriguez. And if anybody has seen the last woman standing match from NXT that these two had, they took the house down. Even in their War Games match, we're in for a treat with these two. So I'm glad they're finally giving Rodriguez the opportunity at Rhea. So, and then we have the 6-man tag match. Anytime Dom gets in the ring, I want to change the channel.
Dude, he gets booed every time. He gets tagged in, he gets booed like crazy. They were chanting Dom's a loser.
And I was texting you. It sounded like not like they were making fun of Nakamura because you notice when he came out, they normally sing along to his song. They didn't. They weren't even cheering him because everybody there kind of knew what was going on. So they were sort of booing him already. So I really thought they were saying Naka loser.
It was dumb.
Either way, it works.
Dirty dumb.
Like they have to chant that he is. We already know that.
Right. He did that. What is that move that Eddie Guerrero used to do with the he used to do the suplex. Then he would do another suplex. I forgot what it was called. Whatever.
Give me a minute.
I forget what it was.
I know it.
Maybe it'll come back to you later. The way he does it is shitty.
It is.
And I don't know if it's intentionally shitty. I don't know if it's intentionally shitty.
The Three Amigos.
Shitty. There you go. But it's shitty when he does it. And then he does that. And then I'm like, this looks like crap. What is this?
He has no muscle tone. He has no body tone. He's got fat. He's got a mullet. He's got no charisma. He's a bum. But he's raised bum. The kid never even went through NXT. He's a bum.
He's the NXT champion.
You want me to say this in Mickey's voice? He's a bum.
He's the North American champion, though.
He's a second-rate loser from Jersey.
Who only got a shot because of his last name. So
thank you. And when this gimmick goes away, I've said this before, when this gimmick goes away, what are you going to do with him?
The heat is bad, man. People don't like him. It's not a good heat. Anyway.
No, it isn't. This is not booing him the way they are.
Anyway, so we have the whole.
They better keep him in Judgment Day for a long time.
We have the whole briefcase thing going on.
Oh my God! Go ahead.
It just keeps backfiring. No, it just keeps backfiring every time Priest is like trying to help out, his boy Balor, it goes awry.
Well, he hits Rhodes with it, and then Balor tried to use it, and it didn't work, and then Rollins used it and threw it away. And then, of course, Zayn came out attacking Priest.
Well, he got super kicked. They used the super kick again with the super. He used the super kick into the briefcase.
Yep.
Then it just turned into an all-out.
Rhodes, the crossroads, and we get the pin. This is where I think that Cody Rhodes is going to face Finn Balor, which should be a good match at Payback. First time we'll ever see those two in the ring, at least in WWE. I like that Zayn came out. Of course, he's attacking Judgment Day, but his beef is with JD McDonough. And
I was like, why did
Judgment Day?
It's not. Yeah, I'm like, what is he doing out there? And he's holding his arm.
Oh my God, they're the walking.
And they're all in the ring. They're all in the ring. These guys they squashed their beef. Seth and
finally shook to each other's hands.
I didn't think he was going to tag him.
All right, I'll do it.
Early in the match, I didn't think
either. And then finally, he couldn't tag Nakamura. He was down on the thing. Then I thought Rollins was going to have a problem with Rhodes checking on Nakamura.
Yeah.
But finally he tags him, and then they win the match. Now they all raise each other's hand. Great. Zayn is trying to play the keeper. Rollins pushes him out of the way. He shakes his hand. Okay, good. So everybody is up on a ring corner. Not Nakamura in the corner. Why? Because he's getting that kick ready. He's winding up his leg. Boom. Kinshasa to Seth Rollins. And then he leaves
just walks
okay,
off.
Now I go in the back and eat now. Yeah. I did my thing. He got all his frustration out and he's at peace.
Everybody was booing.
We knew it was coming.
Yeah,
and the only reason why I'm glad it happened is because he's going to be in the main event in the title match.
Yeah,
where he belongs. He's not going to win.
I think he's just cannon fodder. I think he's just cannon fodder just to just a little stopgap, and then we're going right into Seth and Cody. That's what I think is going to happen. This is not his main event push.
I think they're going to keep. I think they're going to keep teasing it, but I don't think it's going to happen.
Seth and Cody.
Yeah, because Cody's on such a momentum. Seth would have to beat him this time.
No, I don't.
They're both on a hell of a run right now.
I think that's what I mean. Look, I could be wrong. They could always swerve us. I feel like that's Survivor Series. I think that's where it's headed. I don't know.
Survivor Series. I think they're doing the champion versus champion. So you're gonna get Roman and Seth. You're gonna get WWE versus World Heavyweight as of right now. Then again, I don't know where they're going. I don't know if there's gonna be another War Games at Survivor Series. I don't know if they're gonna go back to Raw versus SmackDown. I don't know what the hell they're doing.
They probably don't even know.
We're 3 months out from it, so speculating on it's only going to drive us nuts. But I like the fact that each month, after the last pay-per-view, now they try to get to this for the two of them, and there's another obstacle in the way for either one. Right. That's funny to see. Because last time he says so, and then here Brock Lesnar's music.
But you have to imagine that's where they're headed. They're not just going to continue to tease us and not give us. It has to happen.
As long as they know that Seth has to win that match, and as long as it doesn't ruin Cody's momentum, I mean, go ahead and do it. But I mean, they're on such a run right now. Yeah, Cody lost to Brock. Yeah, but he won the war. He's only really lost one pay-per-view match so far. Two, count Roman.
Yeah, but Seth is a placeholder. As much as I like Seth, he's a placeholder. He's not. Yeah, for Gunther or for Cody or for he's not.
I don't see Cody winning that title because that's not the one he wants.
I know, but
that's not the one. That's the final chapter in the story.
But I wouldn't be surprised seeing him win that title and then going on to win the other title later on. Whether he loses that before, but I wouldn't be surprised if this is just part of his. His ascension.
I honestly, the next champion I see after Rollins is Priest.
Well, yeah, you got Priest in the mix. Who knows, man? It's
because if they actually, what they could do is, and it's a possibility, if they actually, let's say if at Fastlane they had the match in October, Priest decides to pull a Rollins, cash it in, make it a triple threat match, and then he's responsible for pinning one of them, and he walks away as the champion. Then you got Damian Priest going to possibly to WrestleMania with the World Heavyweight title.
Unless Priest pivots to the IC. Like Gunther goes that way, and then Priest goes to the IC. You know what I'm trying to say? Like Gunther goes to the world title.
I really hope they don't.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Not with the momentum he's on.
I understand what you're saying, but you got too many contenders. It's almost like you got too many top guys. You got Seth, you got Cody, you got Priest. I mean, there's only so many belts to go around. They can go a number of different ways. I hope it's going to be like the old days where it's like you got your Triple H's, you got your Rocks, you got your Austin, you got your Kurt Angle, and the belts, you don't have to change them
eventually
all the time.
It passes around.
But it passes, yeah. I would like that instead of this Roman thing where it's just Roman forever.
Well, that's on SmackDown. We're focusing on Raw.
But I'm saying eventually it's got to get to a point where different guys, you can't. How long can you just go with? Because I think Roman's hindering these other guys because you're relying on Raw.
He is
to build these new champions.
And these guys are drafted to SmackDown, and they're looking like, okay, why am I
here?
I'm
not winning. Why am I here? I'm not getting this. I'm not getting a title.
All I'm going to be is a victim to him. When I want to win that title.
Yeah. So we'll see.
If I'm AJ, I'd be like, can I go to Raw? I have a better chance of being world champion there.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. We'll see what happens.
I mean, I can understand I can see the frustration from those guys. Some of them don't have a lot of time left and would like one final run. I know Sheamus would like one. AJ would like one. They're not getting any younger. Bobby Lashley's getting up there, and they keep flirting with this possibility of a Roman versus Lashley. But who knows if we're ever going to get it, because of the bloodline is just it monopolizes all the time. So I mean, it's like, what are we going to do here?
Yeah, we'll see. We could be here forever.
Hopefully, Damian cashes in and becomes world champion. I would hate to see him win that, get the momentum that he has, and then just go for the IC title. That's a step down at this point. And again, he's no spring chicken either. That man's 40 years old.
Is he that old?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought he was younger than that.
Nah, he's up there too. So it's like he got his break with WWE late. Now he needs to make the most of it. Because who knows how many runs he's gonna have?
Yeah,
maybe
that's
just
true. That's
one,
true.
maybe it. Honestly,
Yeah. Well, this episode of Raw, I guess it had its moments, but overall,
Yeah,
yeah, but
he saved the show.
yeah,
Let's just
but
say what it is.
overall, it's just Monday Night Raw.
We're
Like,
attitude fanboys. I don't care.
yeah, like just like him, and we didn't mention that he took some shots at him about that. He called Miz called him an attitude fanboy.
Yep.
So
I'm surprised he didn't say you're an Austin Rock wannabe. Thank God he didn't. Yeah. Well.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's our Monday Night Raw review. We'll be back for SmackDown.
Yes,
so you guys
will.
make sure. Please make
Roman
sure.
Reigns is 9,000th return.
Oh Jesus Christ! You guys make sure to like, comment, share, subscribe. We'll see you guys soon.
Take care.
Yeah.